you been looking for?
Yo guys, what is going on? I am back, and in today's video I am going to be talking about the return of Porsche. Now, this is a video I did on Forza Motorsport 6 already, and that was quite a popular video. But this video, the circumstances have changed, and I'll explain everything. So, if you guys didn't watch the other video, at the time, EA had a contract with Porsche, and it meant that EA pretty much owned all the licensing to Porsche, and it meant they could put Porsche in any EA game they wanted, and it wouldn't cost them anything because it was in their contract. Like, EA had paid Porsche for their licensing. But also doing that, it meant that any other company that wanted to use Porsche in their game had to pay EA money to get the license from them. Meaning, EA charged stupid amounts of money for it, leading to no one actually buying the licensing to Porsche. So, other game companies resorted to RUF or RUF, which is pretty much the tuner for Porsche. It was cheaper, it was simpler, less hassle, and so forth. And then there was Forza, I think it was Forza Horizon 2? No, Forza Motorsport 4, I think it started in there. What Forza did was they didn't release Porsche in the full game, but instead they released it as an expansion pack or a car pack. And then they did the same in Horizon 2. I don't know if they did it in Forza Motorsport 5. I don't think they did, because they had RUF in that game. Horizon 2 they had RUF, but they still added the Porsche pack. Forza Motorsport 6, they did the Porsche expansion, which cost £16 I think, and I did have that. I had it in Forza Motorsport 6. I didn't really use it as much as I wish I did, but I did have it. Didn't have it in Horizon 2, so I don't really know how different it was between Forza Motorsport 6 and Horizon 2. But now we're at Horizon 3. Like I said, the circumstances have changed. Now, it's not only Forza that can do, Porsche expansions or whatever with Porsche. You've obviously got other racing game developers out there that also would like Porsches in their games. Let's take, I don't know, UPS4 guys. You got Gran Turismo. Drive Club isn't supported anymore, but how great would that game have been with Porsche? What else is there? Ivory Tower and the Crew, they could do with some Porsche. Can you imagine that? That'd be great. So, there's obviously game developers out there that need Porsche, or could do with Porsche. Porsche is a good asset to have, so EA buying the license, it kind of made Porsche exclusive and more likable. I don't know how to explain it, okay? So, with Porsche, I always thought, each Porsche it's the same car. They're all evolved from a Beetle, so it might as well just be the Beetle. They all, evolved and they looked kind of the same, and then I kind of started to take a liking to Porsche. Now, I'm not a Porsche person, to be completely honest with you. Like, don't get me wrong, I like a nice Porsche, but if I could choose, I don't know, Ferrari or Porsche, I would choose Ferrari. If I could choose Subaru over Porsche, I would choose Subaru. I'm that person. I mean, not any old Subaru, by the way. It would have to be something like the Impreza STI. 2008, at least. And I'd have to get it kitted up. But, there's different kinds of Porsche, and there's ones, you'd obviously choose, I don't know, like, yeah, the Subaru over that Porsche, like a Boxster. Is a Porsche Boxster even a Porsche? That's what I think. I think that the Porsche Boxster is just like the It's the car that old people buy because they wish they had a proper Porsche, and a Boxster just never really made it. I think that's the car that they made cheap for old people to buy and dream, or to have the keyring so they can walk around saying, yes, I have a Porsche. Oh, I'm an old pensioner and I have a Porsche. That's the way I see the Boxster, but hey, don't get offended if you have a Porsche Boxster, okay, and you're watching this video. You might not be a pensioner, you might not, yeah. We're getting off track. Anyways, did EA waste the contract? That is a question I have for you guys. Do you think they put that contract to waste? Because, let me give you some insight, okay? It's not even insight, what am I talking about? But, EA, after Need for Speed Rivals, took a break from making the Need for Speed game. They took a year break to make Need for Speed 2015, which turned out to be an amazing game. That was definitely a good game, but was it worth the 1 year that they didn't use Porsche? They didn't really make money in that year that they didn't make a game. So, does it waste their contract? Do you think that wastes the contract? Then also, there was no game in 2016. Like, at the moment, there is no game in 2016 now. Whether they want to surprise us with a release within the next 2 weeks, there isn't going to be a Need for Speed in 2016. So does that mean they've put Porsche to waste for another year? You guys tell me what you think about Need for Speed's little gap years, where they didn't make games. Did they lose money? Did they waste the contracts, you know? Obviously, 2017, they'll probably announce a game. Makes sense. 2 years to make a game makes sense. That's what Assassin's Creed and Ubisoft are doing. It's what COD does. They do a game every 3 years. But they have 3 different studios working on games, so they never actually lose money. But EA's contract obviously ends this year, in 2016. Now, there was never a specific date, but I've looked into it, and it's looking like 2016 is the end of EA's contract with Porsche, which means the license is back to where it was. It's open again, so it's like this Koenigsegg, for example. I'm driving the Koenigsegg. No one exclusively owns the license to Koenigsegg, so you could find this Agera R in The Crew, you could find it in Forza, you could find it in Gran Turismo, Drive Club. I mean, it might not actually be in Drive Club or anything like that, but that's what I'm trying to say. Like, Project Cars might have it, Assetto Corsa might have the Agera, because it's not an exclusively owned license. You ask that brand or that manufacturer if you can use their car, and if they say yeah, go ahead, you can do it. Like, just give some money, you know, they work something out. It's obviously a lot more complicated than that, but it means their manufacturing and their license is not exclusive, whereas Porsche, you obviously had to go through EA to get the license, which means the packs, the expansion packs that Forza have done the past couple of years for Porsche must have been really expensive to buy. The licensing for that is crazy. You can tell how expensive it is because Forza are the only ballsy ones to do it. You haven't seen Ivory Tower go over to EA and say, hey, can we borrow the Porsche license for a game? And, you know, The Crew's a big game. The Crew would be, I think you'd top that game off if you threw Porsche in there. But they obviously chose the rough route. They went and got some RUFs, some roughs, and they threw those in the game, and it meant they didn't have to go through EA to get the car. It's just simpler and it's cheaper. Because going to EA, asking them for their license for Porsche, is risky. You kind of just, as a game dev, you kind of got to think, hey, am I going to make money if I do this? And a lot of the time, the chances are no. Because they'll charge you so much for that license for Porsche. You know, they could ask for a share in the profits, or they could say, hey, you need to pay me a set price and you're free to use it for whatever you want. You know, it gets expensive. It gets really expensive. So it explains why Porsche, or why Forza made the Porsche expansion so expensive, like almost 20 quid. I don't know how much that is in dollars, anything like that. It's about £15. Well, actually it was about £16, £17, somewhere in there. I'm not being very specific about this. These prices are not good, okay? We're gonna go with 17 because that's in the middle. A monthly car pack on Forza is £5. You know, the Porsche pack is 3 times that. Did Forza make money when they did these Porsche packs? That's a question that I cannot answer. But what does this mean for the future of Porsche, for the game developers and racing games in the future? So there's 2 routes I can see this going. You can either find a new dev who exclusively buys the license back from Porsche, so EA has to pay crazy amounts to that developer. You could call that payback, or you could leave the license open and any dev that wants Porsche in their game could go to Porsche and ask, hey, can we use Porsche in the game? Can we, you know, use your licensing? And I don't know which one would be better, because obviously, imagine if, I don't know, Gran Turismo exclusively bought Porsche. How annoying would that be? Xbox would never get a Porsche. Or, I don't know, if Forza bought Porsche, it means that the PlayStation people will never see a Porsche in a racing game, you know? I mean, the chances are they wouldn't anyway, because it's so expensive to buy. But if you're Porsche, what do? Do you say, hey, we want to keep our licensing open, you know, if anybody wants our license, come see us? Or do you go, someone pay us and you can keep our license for a few years? Which one's more profitable for the devs and Porsche? So, my final thoughts on this, alright, I think we'll see a return of Porsche. I feel like the Porsche return is upon us. I feel strongly about that. I think Forza, obviously they've got the expansion pass, you can buy it now, but it only gives you 2 expansions, and that kind of makes you question, is Porsche going to be the second expansion? Because they did Blizzard Mountain, or something like that, the Snow Mountain, whatever it's called, is the first expansion, comes out on the 13th of December, which is on Tuesday, depending on when you're watching this video. And then they've got one more expansion in the expansion pass, and of course they could, you know, add more expansions if they wanted them. But is it going to profit? So, Forza, are they going to make a Porsche expansion? Possibly. There's a very high chance, but there's also a very high chance they make it just like a normal car pack, like you would with the monthly cars, you know? That kind of thing, it's a big topic. It's a big topic amongst, you know, the racing community, game community. It's big deals going on, man. Porsche is a big name, big name. Can you imagine if someone bought the Ferrari licensing? How mad would that make everybody? I think I'd shoot myself. Anyways, I'm gonna call it quits on this video. I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section below, because that's important to me. I want to know what you guys think. Do you think we'll see a return of Porsche in other games? Do you think we'll have to keep going with these expansions? Do you think EA will buy out a new contract with Porsche? Let me know in the comment section below, guys. And if you did enjoy the video, be sure to drop a like and subscribe for more Forza Horizon 3. Other than that though, my work here is done. So I hope you all have an amazing day, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.